Everyone thinks they already know Abby and Brittany Hensel's story, but almost no one knows what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. While the world kept asking questions about their unique lives, the sisters quietly faced new challenges, life-changing decisions, and moments that changed everything. Their journey after surgery wasn't just about recovery, it was about building a future few believed was possible. What they revealed today may completely change how you see their incredible story. For years, many people believed that Abby and Brittany Hensel had gone through a life-changing surgery that completely changed their lives. Headlines, social media posts, and edited photos made it seem like the famous twins had finally been separated. But the real story is very different and much more inspiring. When Abby and Brittany were born in 1990, doctors immediately understood how rare their condition was. They were conjoined twins, sharing one body while each had her own head, brain, heart, and personality. At the time, some medical experts discussed the idea of separation surgery. However, after carefully studying their shared organs, doctors realized the operation would have been extremely dangerous. There was a high chance that one or both sisters would not survive. Because of those risks, their family chose not to go forward with separation surgery. As the years passed, Abby and Brittany proved that they didn't need to be separated to live meaningful and successful lives. They learned to walk together, ride a bicycle, swim, play sports, drive a car, and even become teachers. Their teamwork amazed doctors and inspired millions around the world. Still, the internet never stopped creating rumors. Every few years, new stories claimed the sisters had secretly undergone surgery or were now living separate lives. Some articles even used edited images to fool readers. But independent fact-checkers confirmed there is no evidence that Abby and Brittany were ever separated. Those viral pictures were digitally altered and did not show real events. Instead of chasing public attention, the sisters focused on building a quiet and happy life in Minnesota. They became fifth-grade teachers, stayed close to their family, and chose privacy over fame. Their story isn't about a miracle surgery. It's about determination, teamwork, and proving that a different life can still be a full and successful one. But even after leaving television behind, a surprising new chapter was waiting for them. One unexpected event would bring Abby and Brittany back into headlines around the world and change the way millions of people looked at their lives once again. For Abby and Brittany Hensel, life didn't become easier after they left television. In many ways, it became even more challenging. The cameras were gone, but public curiosity never disappeared. Every time someone recognized them, people wanted answers about their personal lives. Instead of chasing fame, the sisters made a very different choice. They decided to live as normally as possible. After graduating from Bethel University, Abby and Brittany followed the dream they had talked about for years. They became fifth-grade teachers in Minnesota. Standing in front of a classroom wasn't easy, but they worked together just like they always had. Abby focused more on math and science, while Brittany enjoyed reading and language arts. Their students quickly learned that they weren't just two famous sisters from television, they were caring teachers who wanted every child to succeed. Away from school, the sisters kept their private lives almost completely out of the public eye. They rarely gave interviews and stopped sharing many personal details. This made people even more curious. Rumors spread online almost every year. Some claimed they had separated. Others claimed they had retired or disappeared. None of those stories were true. Abby and Brittany were simply choosing peace over publicity, something they had wanted for a long time. Then came a surprise that no one saw coming. In 2024, the public learned that Abby had quietly married Josh Bowling in a private ceremony back in 2021. The news shocked millions because the wedding had happened years earlier without attracting attention. Abby, Brittany, and Josh had successfully kept this important part of their lives private. The announcement reminded everyone that despite worldwide fame, they were still entitled to build their lives away from cameras. Abby also became a stepmother to Josh's daughter, adding a new chapter to their family story. As news of the marriage spread across the internet, the sisters suddenly found themselves back in the spotlight. Thousands of comments appeared online. Some people celebrated their happiness, while others spread false stories and harsh opinions. Instead of arguing with everyone, Abby and Brittany shared a simple message online that made their feelings clear. People may think they know their lives, but the public only sees a very small part of their journey. But marriage was only the beginning. Another important part of their story was about to unfold. one that involved family, responsibility, and dreams they had quietly carried for years. For most people, getting married is a personal moment shared with family and close friends. But for Abby and Brittany Hensel, even the happiest moments quickly became public news. After years of living quietly, one unexpected discovery brought their private life back into the spotlight. Although the world only learned about it in 2024, Abby had actually married Josh Bowling in a private ceremony in 2021. The couple chose not to make a big announcement. Instead, they focused on enjoying their new life together away from cameras and headlines. Josh, a U.S. Army veteran and registered nurse, had already built a career helping others. Friends and family described him as someone who valued privacy, just like Abby and Brittany. The marriage also brought new responsibilities. Josh had a daughter from a previous relationship, and Abby stepped into the role of a stepmother. It was a new experience for everyone, and the family worked to create a loving and supportive home. While the sisters have always said they hope to experience marriage and family life one day, they have chosen to keep many personal details private, asking the public to respect those boundaries. As the news spread, social media exploded with questions. Many people celebrated the couple and wished them happiness. Others filled the internet with rumors and assumptions about how their family worked. Instead of answering every question, Abby and Brittany responded in their own quiet way. Through social media, they reminded people that strangers only see a small part of someone else's life. Behind every headline is a real family deserving of kindness and respect. Despite all the attention, their daily priorities remained simple. Abby and Brittany continued teaching their students, spending time with loved ones, and enjoying ordinary moments together. Fame had never been their goal. Living a meaningful life was. Their story also showed something many people forget. Happiness doesn't always look the same for everyone. Every family is unique, and every person's journey is different. Abby and Brittany have spent their entire lives proving that they don't need to fit into other people's expectations to live full and joyful lives. But even with love and family beside them, there were still challenges that few people could truly understand. The next chapter reveals the everyday obstacles they continue to face, and the incredible teamwork that helps them overcome each one. When people see Abby and Brittany Hensel smiling in photos, it's easy to think their life is simple. But behind every smile is a level of teamwork that most of us can barely imagine. Every single day, from the moment they wake up until they go to sleep, they must work together in ways that have become second nature over the years. Even something as simple as getting out of bed takes perfect timing. Abby controls the right side of their shared body, while Brittany controls the left. Walking across a room, climbing stairs, opening a door, or carrying groceries all require constant coordination. What most people do without thinking is something the sisters have practiced together since they were little girls. Their incredible teamwork allows them to move naturally, but it comes from years of patience and practice. Driving is another example of their remarkable cooperation. Abby controls the gas pedal and brake with the right leg, while Brittany controls the turn signals and helps with steering and awareness on the left side. They earned their driver's license after proving they could safely work together behind the wheel. For them, driving isn't about one person being in charge. It's about trusting each other every second. Teaching also requires careful teamwork. Standing in front of a classroom means communicating with students, answering questions, writing on the board, and keeping dozens of children focused at the same time. Yet Abby and Brittany have shown that they can work together so smoothly that many students quickly stop noticing their physical differences. Instead, they see two dedicated teachers who care deeply about helping children learn. Still, not every challenge is physical. One of the hardest parts of their lives has always been dealing with public attention. Wherever they go, strangers often stare, whisper, or ask deeply personal questions. Over the years, they have learned to ignore the noise and focus on what truly matters: their family, their careers, and the people who treat them with kindness and respect. Rather than letting public curiosity define them, they have chosen to define themselves through the lives they live every day. Their journey proves that real strength isn't about having an easy life. It's about facing challenges with courage, patience, and unwavering trust in one another. For Abby and Brittany, every ordinary day is also an extraordinary reminder of what can be achieved when two people refuse to give up. But perhaps the biggest surprise wasn't how they handled life's challenges. It was why they slowly stepped away from the spotlight, leaving millions of fans wondering where they had gone. For many celebrities, staying in the spotlight is part of the job. They attend events, give interviews, and share every big moment online. But Abby and Brittany Hensel chose a very different path. After years of being followed by cameras, they slowly stepped away from public life. To many fans, it felt like they had disappeared. In reality, they were simply choosing something they had always wanted: privacy. Their journey in front of the cameras began when they were just children. Millions of people watched them grow up through television specials and documentaries. Later, their TLC series, Abby and Brittany, gave viewers a closer look at their everyday lives. People admired their courage, their teamwork, and their positive attitude. But living in the public eye also came with a cost. Every trip to the store, every family outing, and every personal decision became something strangers wanted to discuss. As they grew older, Abby and Brittany realized they didn't want fame to define their future. They loved teaching, spending time with family, and living like anyone else in their community. Instead of posting every detail online, they chose to keep most of their lives private. Friends and neighbors treated them with kindness, allowing them to enjoy a sense of normal life that had become increasingly rare. When news of Abby's 2021 marriage became public in 2024, the sisters suddenly found themselves back in headlines around the world. Reporters, social media users, and curious strangers began asking personal questions once again. Rather than giving long interviews, Abby and Brittany responded with a short message on TikTok, reminding everyone that they had always been around. It was a simple way of saying they had never disappeared, they had simply been living their lives away from public attention. Their decision teaches an important lesson. Not every public figure wants to stay famous forever. Sometimes, the greatest success is being able to enjoy quiet moments with the people you love. Abby and Brittany have shown that happiness doesn't have to be shared with the whole world to be real. They continue to teach children, spend time with family, and focus on the life they have built together instead of chasing attention. Today, they inspire people not because they seek headlines, but because they continue to live with strength, kindness, and dignity. Their story reminds us that true courage isn't about being watched by millions. It's about staying true to yourself even when the world is watching. But their remarkable journey isn't over yet. In the final chapter, we'll look at the powerful message Abby and Brittany want the world to remember, and why their story continues to inspire millions. After spending most of their lives in the public eye, Abby and Brittany Hensel have learned one important lesson. Not every question deserves an answer. While millions of people remain curious about their unique lives, the sisters have made it clear that they want to be known for much more than the fact that they are conjoined twins. Over the years, they have shown the world what determination really looks like. They graduated from college, built successful careers as fifth-grade teachers, learned to drive, traveled, and created a life filled with family and friends. None of those achievements came easily, but they refused to let other people's expectations decide what they could or could not do. Their story has never been about proving doctors wrong. It has been about proving that every person deserves the chance to live a full and meaningful life. When Abby's marriage became public in 2024, many people celebrated the happy news. Sadly, others filled social media with rude comments and personal questions. Instead of arguing with strangers, Abby and Brittany responded in a calm but powerful way. They shared videos reminding everyone that they had always been around, and posted another message aimed at critics. If someone spends their time watching everything they do, then perhaps they are already a fan. Their response wasn't filled with anger. It was a reminder that kindness is always stronger than hate. The sisters have also shown that privacy is not something to be ashamed of. They continue teaching, spending time with loved ones, and enjoying the simple moments that matter most. They no longer feel the need to explain every part of their lives to the world. That choice has allowed them to focus on what truly makes them happy instead of chasing attention. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson their journey offers. Every person faces challenges that others cannot see. Some struggles are physical, while others are emotional. But courage isn't measured by how different someone looks. It's measured by how they choose to move forward each day. Today, Abby and Brittany continue inspiring millions, not because they are famous, but because they have shown what resilience, teamwork, and hope really look like. Their lives remind us that being different is not a weakness. In many ways, it can become your greatest strength. As their story continues, one thing is certain. Abby and Brittany Hensel are no longer just remembered as the conjoined twins the world once watched on television. They are remembered as two remarkable women who chose courage over fear, purpose over fame, and kindness over criticism. And perhaps that is the greatest legacy anyone could leave behind.